Hi guys, welcome to another edition of the Masters Fantasy Football League's Dynasty Spotlight Series. Today we got a special show for you guys. Rather than just highlighting a college prospect, we're actually going to do a little versus show, a little Devonta Smith versus Jamar Chase show. We're going to talk about maybe where their games are similar, where they're different, who's better at what, maybe argue a little bit, maybe have some fun with it.
Yeah.
Make a case for each guy and leave it up to you guys in the comments, Give us a vote, Jamar Chase or Devonta Smith. So
yeah, I like it.
So yeah, I guess to start the show, we're just going to kind of go down just kind of talk through each category of their game.
Mm-hmm.
So stuff like size, speed, hands, route running, run after the catch ability, maybe even potential. Just kind of talk about who we think has the edge in which category. And,
absolutely.
And then hash things out at the end. So start with size.
All right.
Size
to me, that seems like an easy one for me.
I agree.
I feel like for me, Jamar Chase has that almost ideal receiver size. A nice, thick, physical build. Height is about 6'6", which is good there too. And obviously, the one knock on Devonta Smith so far is
the weight,
is his size.
Yep.
Yeah,
and I completely agree with that. I'm a big proponent. And one of our viewers actually put it in a comment on a show. They love just guys over 200 pounds. If you look long-term dynasty fantasy football, the guys under 200 pounds, the list is a lot thinner.
Right.
Little pun there, thinner.
I like that.
But these guys like A.J. Brown, DK Metcalf, these big physical receivers, they just look like they're going to be monsters in the league for a long time. And some of these thinner guys, they break down easier. They maybe just aren't as good at the NFL level. So for that, I think Jamar Chase wins the size category.
Size.
Yep.
Size to Jamar Chase.
Stamp it.
Yeah. All right. So that would bring us to the next one, which is speed. And I think this one is a little closer than some people might think. And I think I might have to lean Devonta Smith here.
Yeah, I lean Devonta Smith too. And I actually, in terms of like straight line speed, I think Devonta Smith runs like a gazelle. I think in a flat out foot race, I think he'd kind of blow by Jamar. But I think Jamar has really good agility, short area, kind of like a Jarvis Landry, gets in and out of breaks real fast.
Right.
So I don't think, it's not a bad thing. It's not a negative on Jamar Chase game, but straight line speed, I'm going to give that to Devonta Smith.
Yeah. I honestly think their 40 times will both be slower than you'd expect. I kind of think that. If you watch Devonta Smith during the college football playoff, you thought, this dude is going to run a low 4.3. He looks way faster than everybody else. I don't think that's going to be the case. And Jamar Chase, he could run anywhere between mid 4.4s to mid 4.5s, which isn't bad at all. I mean, that's good speed for a receiver.
Especially combine times.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But, I think, again, a lot of people would probably think maybe he runs a little faster than that.
Yeah. If I were guessing right now at the combine, I would guess Jamar Chase to run about a 4.5 flat.
Yeah.
And I'd put Devonta at like a 4.4 flat. And that's a big gap.
I'll say 4.43.
I like it.
We'll take a peek at that.
Yeah. We'll revisit this post-combine.
Absolutely.
This year they're doing regional combines because of COVID, so we won't get to see them run together, I don't think. Well, maybe they're at the same location,
maybe.
Alabama, LSU.
That'd be kind of sweet.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure how they're breaking up which prospects are where.
Yeah,
but it would be kind of cool to see them in the same building running them,
I agree. Yeah, that'd be cool.
With the same group, just to make sure, there's nothing sketchy going on with the times coming out of, Mobile, Alabama, or wherever they're doing it. I'm not exactly sure, but...
All right, so next on the list would then be hands.
It's a tough one.
I don't know. Yeah. This is a really tough one. I'm going to lean Jamar Chase.
So in terms of sure handedness, I would lean Jamar Chase as well, and it's mainly because of that size factor. But
yeah, I just am thinking of him going up and making tough contested catches.
Yeah.
And I mean that's more like a thumbs up to Devonta Smith's other aspects, is he didn't really have to make a lot of contested catches.
He did make some wild ones.
He did. He made some great ones, but
that LSU game.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. He's made some great ones. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like that's more of a consistent part of Jamar Chase's game. Whereas, with Devonta Smith, it's not as frequent. And for that reason, I'm just going to go with that being the sole factor, because other than that, these guys barely drop the ball.
Yeah.
So.
And I think they're both great at that category, actually. And, 3rd and 2 running a slant route, I want Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
But, man, some of those toe tap catches and circus catches.
His body control.
Devonta Smith has made some nice catches too. So
Yeah, I think if
we'll
there
give
was a
slight
category
edge to Jamar Chase.
of all the categories, this one might be the closest to a wash.
I agree. Yeah.
Although I just thought of another one being body control, and I feel like that's basically a wash too.
Yeah.
I mean,
These guys are special.
they really are, and that's what makes it this whole episode. It makes it tough because anything good I say about Jamar Chase, I mean, it's not like I think Devonta Smith stinks. I mean, I think he's incredible too. It's tough. I just have like that little bit of opinion towards Jamar, but I mean, I think Devonta Smith's legit as well.
Yeah.
But either way.
So I think we're going to get to another complicated one. Route running.
I
think they're both really good route runners too.
I think they are too. You know, and I'm going to give the edge to Devonta Smith on this one. And kind of going back to my contested catches one, you could argue that, well, if Jamar Chase was a better route runner, that and speed, he'd be able to create more separation. Wouldn't have to make as many contested catches. I don't necessarily think that's the case. You could make that argument. But, I just think Devonta Smith was his route running was so crisp, so smooth. And not to say Chase's isn't, but, I mean, Smith just creates so much separation with his route running. It's a special gift he's got.
And earlier on, I think during the Devonta Smith Spotlight series show, just on him alone, I kind of compared him to a young Stephon Diggs. And I mean, we know Stephon Diggs is one of the filthiest route runners in the NFL right now. I mean, can just make defensive backs look silly. I think Devonta Smith has a lot of that in his game too, especially double moves going deep. But when he can just separate in the open field and turns into a gazelle, it's just an exciting player.
Right.
But again, it's not a knock on Jamar Chase. I think he does a good job as well, especially like short area. Like I said, those 3rd and 2 situations, almost like Jarvis Landry. I'd love Jamar Chase to, get a little wiggle, get open, make the catch, pick up that first down, keep the chains moving. But
I'm with you on that one. It's tough because again, these guys are really good and they do a lot of things really well. So it's hard to even say one's better than the other for sure in any category. But I'm gonna lean Devonta on that one just by a hair. And that'll bring us to the next one, which would be run after the catch. Who's better when it comes to run after the catch? Al, what do you think?
So it's funny because I think
a tough one too.
I think in different ways they're both better. So in terms of the big threat, home run threat, run after the catch, I think Devonta Smith can take a screen pass 80 yards and all that kind of thing, or catch a deep pass and all that. But short yardage and like just tough running and that again I'm thinking Jarvis Landry type of play. Jamar Chase he's physical, he's got moves, he can run through defenders, and especially at the NFL level, I think he can do it where we talked about size, and Devonta Smith's a little thinner. I don't know if he's going to be, breaking tackles and this and that at the NFL level like he could in college. So I think in different ways you can make a case for either. I'm going to call it a wash.
There you go. It's funny because I was going to word it the exact same way. I think... in terms of, I liken it to finesse. In terms of finesse rack, I take Devonta Smith for sure. I mean, he'll make you miss without having to even come near you. And he does not miss a step. He's really good with his direction. He takes it and goes. And he makes people look silly, for lack of a better term. Whereas Jamar Chase, I picture like a quick slant or a little screen pass where he can just kind of rip through people and make more happen after the catch in that regard. We've heard a ton of comparisons to like Anquan Bolden. I mean, I picture a physical guy just breaking through tackles and being violent, for lack of a better term. And they're both really good after the catch in completely different ways. So it's kind of cool to see that dynamic. And I'm going to call that one a wash too, just because I think they're elite at it in 2 different ways.
Completely agree. So that brings us to potential, I think.
I think that's our last one is potential.
I'll let you go first on this one.
I'll lean Devonta Smith again.
Ooh, okay, I like it.
I think just with he's got the potential to get more size, and I think that he can just add more to his game. Whereas, I think Jamar Chase...
He's just already so well-rounded.
He's
like good.
I don't know that he's going to improve on like speed or the things that he's kind of not as great at right now. I don't know that he can improve a whole lot on those things.
Natural speed is a hard thing to just improve.
Right. And, and again, I think he's going to be a really good receiver in this league. I'm not saying like, he's just going to be what he is right now. That's what he's going to be going forward. I think he's going to keep getting better and better, but I think the ceiling for Devonta Smith to grow, I think he's got a lot more room to grow in general as a prospect, just because he's so well-rounded in those other areas, too, that are more natural versus Chase.
Yeah. And I 100% agree. It's really almost exactly what I was going to say. I think Jamar Chase is definitely going to be, a great NFL player.
Yep.
But I think Devonta Smith has a chance to be a special NFL player.
Yeah.
We know Devonta Smith is a little thin right now. And if he could just add some weight and maintain the speed and route running craft that he has, he just almost can become, almost like a transcendent talent. Just like he's kind of special in the way, like what he did. I mean, this was a special college football season. The way he produced, the numbers he put up, especially watching the college football playoffs. I mean, just it almost seemed unreal how he just continuously was doing it. And I know Jamar Chase didn't play this year, so it kind of maybe Jamar Chase could have done some special things too, and maybe we'd feel a little different,
with their quarterback situation, probably not.
But
I'm with you on that. 100%.
Yeah, Devonta Smith just had such a special year and just is such an interesting prospect in that he's so good despite being so light. And we just think if he could, add 10 to 20 pounds and still look the way he does, like he could really be special.
And who knows, it might not even be an issue.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
He could be one of those guys. I mean,
people said he couldn't do what he did at a college level because he was too thin.
Yeah.
Well, he just won the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, he did something that I never really thought I'd see a wide receiver win the Heisman. It's a quarterback or running back, always.
Yep.
And, I mean, for him to do that, I've never seen such a dominant receiver. And then we've seen some unreal receivers. I mean, Jamar Chase a year ago was pretty close to dominant. I mean, statistically, incredible. Yeah. But, I mean, Devonta Smith was doing things we've never seen. He was taking games over.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he was putting games out of reach in one half, just going nuts. I mean,
what he did in the first half of the national championship game was unreal.
Yeah.
And I think Ohio State's game plan didn't look good to stop him, but, I mean, this was the national championship. They had, a whole week to prepare for it, and he still went out and did all that in the first half. I mean,
that was
just craziness.
As a Notre Dame fan, I can speak to that as well. Yeah. It's frustrating to be like, all right, we just got to find a way to stop Devonta Smith, and then you realize, okay, there's nothing we can do to stop Devonta Smith. I feel like I'm swaying myself on my own argument right now. All right, Al, you want to give your 2-minute spiel?
Yeah,
we'll just do a little spiel here.
So like I said, we're going to kind of finish off the show, each giving our take of what guy we want and why. And so my guy is Devonta Smith, which the Doc's starting to turn on.
I feel like I'm turning.
Before I've even given my little spiel.
I'm staying strong.
But yeah, I mean, we've highlighted all the areas of his game a lot, but an area we haven't talked about is just the flat out, when we talked about production, but just pre-show I was talking about some of these Alabama all-time receiving stats. Mm-hmm. And so there's really 9 wide receiver records to look at. You're talking about single game, catches, yards, touchdowns, season-long receptions, yards, touchdowns, and career-long catches, yards, touchdowns. He holds 8 out of 9 of those records. And we're talking about guys like Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Amari Cooper, Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, Jalen Waddle, the list goes on. Devonta Smith, 8 out of 9 of those, ahead of all those guys. And the only one he doesn't have is single season receptions. Amari Cooper has them by like 7 catches, but Amari Cooper played one more game that year than Devonta Smith did this year. So theoretically, I mean, if he would have just played one more game and had 7 or 8 catches, he would own every single Alabama receiving record. And like I said, those are some impressive names on those lists. I know he doesn't look like Julio does because he's, 178 pounds maybe, but he produced better than he did in college. There's no reason he can't continue to build on his game and take the NFL by storm. He won a Heisman Trophy. I think this guy, the sky's the limit, has a chance to be special. I love Jamar Chase, but I'm going Devonta Smith.
I like it. That's a good pitch there, Al. I mean, I've been a Jamar Chase guy since, like, early last year. I watched the Texas LSU game, first game of the season, before they had that crazy run, and I thought, this dude is special. And he went on to have an absolutely ridiculous season. I think it was something like 1,800 yards and 20 touchdowns, something like that. Don't quote me on that. I mean, we look at a guy that dominated the NFL this year as a rookie, Justin Jefferson. A lot of people are very high on him going forward. I mean, he was an afterthought in this offense because of Jamar Chase. And, I mean, that's not easy to do because, as we saw, Justin Jefferson's a very talented guy. And that's where the only thing that I always think about with Devonta Smith is just the fact that before the season and like halfway through the season, I mean, as far as anyone was concerned, Jalen Waddle was the best receiver on that team, which I think is very interesting. And as soon as he got hurt, that's when Devonta Smith really exploded and started having these crazy games and just putting up those video game numbers. And I don't know, it's one of those things that just gives me a little bit of pause because when Jamar Chase had, Terrace Marshall, who could be a first-round pick, Justin Jefferson, who was a first-round pick on the field, he was the top dog. He was the alpha. He was the guy that nobody could stop, no matter what they tried to do. I mean, this guy, he's a dog in every way imaginable. I've talked about his measurables as well as Al has, too. I mean, he's got all the tools. He's got a great build. I mean, I think he's going to be a really, really special player. And right now, he's super well-rounded. And for that reason, I think he's going to come in and dominate from a very early point in his career, whereas there might be a little more learning curve with Devonta Smith just from a physicality standpoint. But yeah, all those things into account, I mean, he's an alpha. He's that guy that's going to, he honestly kind of does remind me of Jarvis, just personality-wise, too. He's just kind of got that fire to him, that edge when he's playing football, and that's something that I just love to see. And I just think overall his game, his personality, his fire, all of that combined into one, that's the receiver I want on my team. As great as Devonta Smith was, I take Jamar Chase. Lock it in.
I love that as well. Like I said, I mean, we both love both these guys.
Yes. It's hard not to. I mean, they're both so good, so fun to watch.
I think the real takeaway from the show is these guys are both special. Go and get them in your dynasty rookie draft.
That's really what this is about. You better hope to God you got a top 2 pick.
Yeah.
Because who knows? They're probably gone after that.
They're going to be special for a long time. We love them both.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But
and with that,
don't be afraid. Leave it in the comments. Give us your guy and why. We'll see who wins, who gets more comments, whether there's more Devonta Smith fans or more Jamar Chase fans out there. I'd love to see it.
Absolutely. And also, if you have any ideas for other head-to-head matchups you want us to talk about, whether it be any running backs in this class, I guess it doesn't even really have to be from the draft in general. It could be players.
DK Metcalf versus AJ Brown. Why don't we do a little versus right there?
I actually do like that. But yeah, just any other ideas you guys are interested in, you want to see us talk about, toss it in the comments. As always, hit a like, hit a subscribe button on it there, and sign up for a Dynasty League because it's the most fun you could have.
Year-round fun.
Football. Absolutely. We're already making... Alec already sent me a trade offer this week. I mean, it's starting already. Yeah. So, I mean, if you want year-round fantasy football, this is the place to be. And, Al, anything else you want to add?
That's it.
All right. We will see you next time, guys. Thanks for listening.
Take care. Thanks for listening.
Bang, pow, boom, 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 boom. Let's go. Let's go.
Well, it was